Before we talk all things Miami Heat, I want to make sure you're subscribed because we're dropping content on the daily and we will continue to make videos even throughout the NBA All-Star break. We are 23 subscribers away from 19K. Let's hit it on today's video. It'd be a great milestone for the channel, so help me out and join us today. I am Nic Rohloff. This is the Heat Report by Chat Sports, and on today's show, we are going to talk about the biggest problem that is plaguing this Miami Heat basketball team right now and what they potentially need to do to fix it, and if it can even be fixed this season. And what is that problem, you ask? It is that the fact Miami is the most mentally soft, worst fourth quarter team in the NBA. The numbers might not show that they are the worst fourth quarter team, and we'll deep dive into the numbers on the end of today's show, but you can just feel that this team mentally collapses against good teams in the fourth quarter. It might not even be good teams either because of what happened against the Brooklyn Nets last Friday, which we will discuss. But the collapse last night, if you're watching this on Thursday before the Mavericks game, the collapse against the Thunder on Wednesday, it broke me. It really, really did. I didn't expect Miami to even win that game. I didn't. I expected them to lose because they were without a couple rotation players playing the best team in the NBA on the road in a first night of a back-to-back. I didn't think they were going to win. But the fact that they led by double digits the entire game, 1 point led by 20, ultimately went into the fourth quarter with a 9-point lead, and then they got absolutely demolished and choked once again to lose by 14. It broke me. It did. The Heat scored 8 points in the fourth quarter. Look at this numbers. It's absolutely joking. It feels like it's actually impossible for a fourth quarter to be like this. But the part that's the most annoying, it's not the first time. This is the second straight game on the road in the fourth quarter where Miami failed to reach 10 points in the final 12 minutes. The turnovers, a joke. It's just unbelievable. It's unfathomable. And the fact that we've seen the Heat collapse in the fourth quarter multiple times like this provides me with absolutely no confidence about this team. No lead is safe. They could be up 15. They could be up 20. Hell, they can be up 30 points going into the fourth quarter, and I still would believe it will probably become close game because the Heat have shown the inability to close out games late in the fourth quarter, and they've been outscored multiple times by 24, 25 plus in the final 12 minutes. We've seen them get outscored 37-8 in the fourth quarter this year, 32-8 yesterday, and we've seen 27-9 as well. It just happens too frequently, and for a team that considers themselves a hard-nosed, tough basketball team, well, they're not showing that because they have been mentally soft and collapse almost every fourth quarter. I am clearly very frustrated with the Miami Heat right now. Are you feeling the same way? And if you are, show me how upset you are with Miami. Scale it 1 to 10. 10, you're obviously furious. Number 1, you're not that frustrated. Drop a number down below. But the fact that this is such a common theme for the Heat is just the most disheartening part of it all. There are so many leads that have been blown this year that just are unexplainable. And I'm not asking you to win every game, but when you put yourself in the positions of these games and you lose them all, it's disheartening. The Heat could easily be 31. Well, how many? So the 25 and 27 right now. They could easily be 31 and 21 if they just didn't blow these games. 22-point lead in the fourth quarter against the Magic. 17-point lead with 8 minutes against the Kings. Up 5 with a minute against the Kings. The 2 games against the Pistons. Up 8 with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And then obviously the debacle where you gave up the alley-oop out of the sideline out of bounds and then Spoelstra called a timeout. Like, these are just 5 examples. If you close out these 5 games, you would be 30 and, well, I'm terrible at the math. You'd be 30-22 just with these 5. But there's other games. The one on Brooklyn last Friday. The one against the Thunder last night. You close those 2 out. And like I said, you're 32-30. Or 32-20. And you're looking at one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. Just close out fourth quarters. Close out games. I don't get it. And Erik Spoelstra, the head coach, he deserves a lot of the blame. He does. Does he deserve all of it? No, because ultimately it's on the players to make open shots, make the right reads, and not turn the ball over. But Spoelstra's rotations, the archaic offense of scheme that he runs, it deserves to get blamed. I believe he's one of the best coaches in the NBA. I no longer truly do believe that he's the best coach in the association. I have said that he has been the best for the last 5+ years, but I don't know if I could say it anymore. He's been such a winner, such a hard-nosed defensive guy, but some of the decisions he has made this entire season are just mind-boggling and questionable. The opening lineup in the fourth quarter against the Thunder last night, after Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hit a 3 to make it a 9-point game, Tyler Hero, Alec Burks, Highsmith, Jovic, and Ware? Like, seriously, what is Spo thinking here? And you might be saying, well, that's fine. This lineup was playing well in the second and third quarter. I get that. But when you get into the fourth quarter, teams are going to really hone in and execute a defensive game plan, which is obviously with this group, doubling Tyler Hero and forcing the ball out of his hands. And if that is the case, and Hero has to get the ball out of his hands because they're doubling him and blitzing him on every single move he makes, who on this group is going to create? Ideally, it's Nikola Jovic, but when he's not playing well and he's not hitting a three-point shot, well, then he's not really going to be that effective on the offensive end. Highsmith's not going to create. Kel'el Ware's got no ability to create right now. And Alec Burks played pretty solid, but if he's your best creator on the court outside of Tyler Hero, that's an issue. To me, how is Adebayo not on the floor? Bam was the best player in the game yesterday. Even though Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had a better box score night, Bam Adebayo had the better game. It was very obvious. He was more efficient. He had 27 points, 13 rebounds plus. He had a couple blocks, a couple steals. Adebayo was dominant last night. And on the front night of a back-to-back, playing the best team in the NBA, when you have a 9, 10-point lead opening up the fourth quarter, you should go for the kill shot. You should. What did OKC do yesterday? Shai usually takes a rest to start the second quarter after playing the entire first quarter. You would expect him to take that rest to start the fourth quarter? No. He played the entire fourth quarter, basically. So why can't Miami's two stars play the entire fourth quarter? When you have a chance to step on their throat and end the game with a nice little 8-0 run maybe to start the fourth quarter, go up 18, you should take it. Adebayo not starting the fourth quarter is a terrible decision by Erik Spoelstra. There's 2 games before the All-Star break. Play your top guys when you have a chance to put one of the best teams in the NBA into the dirt. And we're going to talk more about Spo and what the Heat can do to fix this problem potentially. But I do got to show some major love to our sponsor, which is Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app that I use on a daily basis. All you do is pick more or less on 2 or more player stat projections for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. And All-Star Weekend is almost here. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching your favorite players during the game and the Saturday night events like the 3-point contest, which Tyler Hero is taking place in. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts, like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. And they also offer flash deals as well. Plus, you can even get free entries at time. Yesterday in basketball, they gave me a free entry up to $20. It was very, very fun. So join me and the millions of others playing Prize Picks daily. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. I'm playing once again today, by the way. I've got an entry for the games in the association. More than Andrew Wiggins, 3 free throws made. More than Max Christie rebounds and less than Jimmy Butler, 19.5 points. But make sure you join us. Remember, one more time, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Links in the description and comments of today's video. Prize Picks. Run your game. Getting back to the fourth quarter discussion, we kind of hinted at it. We talked about the other collapses this season. I wish that we could flush what happened yesterday in the fourth quarter and move on. But the fact is, you can't, because this isn't the first time Miami has done something this poorly in the fourth quarter. There have been 4 fourth quarters this year. Just 4. 4 fourth quarters where a team scored in the single digits. The Miami Heat are 3 of them. Yeah. Seriously. 3 out of the 4 fourth quarters this season that a team has scored less than 10 points belong to the Miami Heat. How is that possible? It should not happen once a season, if we're going to be honest. You should never score under 10 points in a quarter in the NBA. 12 minutes a quarter. And the Heat have done it 3 times in the fourth quarter. The other 2 times against the Orlando Magic in that famous 22-point lead blown. Another 8-point performance, 5 turnovers. You see it, outscored 37-8. I mean, they just have issues. It's the turnovers that get me. I get you'll miss shots. I do. Now, should never happen this bad. And when you look at the one last Friday against the Brooklyn Nets, it's actually worse. 2 of 21 and 1 of 13 from 3 with 6 turnovers. But that's the number that's the most disturbing to me. It's the turnovers. Because this team doesn't have a true natural guard. And it seems like whenever opposing teams tighten up their defense late in games, the Heat's ball handlers crumble. They do. And sure, they look fine, and they only had 4 turnovers in the first half last night against the Thunder, 2 in the first quarter, 2 in the second quarter. But then you have 4 turnovers in the third quarter, 6 in the fourth quarter. Turnovers are the biggest key for Miami. At the beginning of the year, they were one of the best teams at not turning the ball over. Now they turn it over all the time. It's an absolute joke. And it's very obvious to me what the number one need for the Miami Heat is in the offseason. That's a true point guard that you can rely on late in games to get others involved, not turn the ball over. But it's also on your perimeter players and your top guys to not just crumble late. Unfortunately, I love them. Nikola Jovic crumbled yesterday offensively. Tyler Hero crumbled. The only player on the Miami Heat that did not crumble late in the game and in the second half was Bam Adebayo. He just played a complete 48-minute game, which is why I don't understand Spoelstra didn't play him more than he should. Should have. The rotations for Spo last night were not good, but they haven't been good all year long, if we're going to be honest. And who deserves the blame? When you talk about these fourth quarter collapses, these second half disasters, who deserves more blame for the Miami Heat? Is it the head coach, Erik Spoelstra? If it is, type ES. If you think it's the players not making shots, turning the ball over, type P. I think Erik Spoelstra deserves a lot of the blame for the fourth quarter collapses that the Miami Heat have, but you can't tell me that the lack of talent Miami has is very apparent. Like, they clearly are just not on the level of some of these teams. You can't say that with the game against the Chicago Bulls. You can't say that with the game against the Brooklyn Nets. You are the more talented team there. But in a game against the Oklahoma City Thunder yesterday, it's obvious. Miami has to almost fight and claw for every basket, every point they get. Other teams just get it so easily, so free will. Like, it's disappointing. It's tough to watch. You know, and when we talk about the fourth quarter statistics that Miami have put together this season, it is really that bad. They are the 28th team in points per game in fourth quarters. I mean, 28th, man. Yeah, they're top half in a couple stats like defensive rating, 3-point percentage, turnovers per quarter, but they are a negative team in the fourth quarter. They have one of the worst offensive ratings in the fourth quarter. They don't shoot well from the field in total. Like, I have no confidence in them. I have none. When the Heat get to the fourth quarter, I expect a collapse. And if you were with us for our watch party yesterday, the Heat led by 10 to start the fourth. As soon as the fourth quarter started, Jalen Williams hit a 3. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hit a 3. And the Heat had back-to-back turnovers of Nikola Jovic and Tyler Hero. And I said, as soon as that happened, well, we lost. Like, seriously, it's so obvious. The Heat started the fourth quarter, missed Jovic left hook, Tyler Hero turnover, Nikola Jovic turnover. Meanwhile, OKC started triple-triple. Like, as soon as that happened, you knew it was over because it's like, here we go again. The team just is so predictable. They are the most consistent team in the NBA. It's terrible. Consistently inconsistent. How about that? All right, that'll do it for this episode of the Heat Report. We will continue to bring you content every single day around this basketball team. Good, bad, ugly. Unfortunately, we're too hooked on this Heat basketball squad. So we'll bring you videos every day, so make sure you are subscribed.